So, happy mid to almost end of January. I was really hoping I was going to have another video up much sooner. This month has kind of thrown us a bunch of curveballs. If you've seen my Instagram, then you'll know we've started virtual learning with our oldest son, Otis, which, I mean, we're really lucky in the sense that he's only in JK, so he does 30 minutes on the computer in a video in the morning, and then he does 30 minutes in the afternoon, and then he does have like homework and assignments and things that he needs to do between his morning class and his afternoon class. But it's still like trying to convince a almost 5-year-old that he needs to sit in front of the computer to learn has its challenges. And we've also actually entered into our, I don't want to say second because it's definitely not our second, but we've entered into another lockdown with a mandatory stay-at-home order in effect. So you're only allowed to leave your house for essentials or to like exercise. So if you're like going for a walk or something. So that's also been really challenging because the kids are just, well, if you have kids, then you know, and even if you don't have kids, you know, you kind of start to go a little bit stir crazy. So we entered into a lockdown technically on Boxing Day, but it got extended for another 28 days, and then it went into like a mandatory stay-at-home order until the end of February, I think. So they just announced the other day that a bunch of cities around us are going to start going back to school, in-person school, Monday. But for us here in Hamilton, it won't be until the middle of February at the earliest. So anyways, it's been a process trying to find pockets of time to do this. So if you're still here, I really appreciate it and your patience. I've got a lot I want to show you and update you on, and things that are in the works and coming really soon. So I thought I would start off with my finished objects because that's really rare for me. But as you can see, I'm wearing one of them. I finished my, it doesn't have a name because I just made it up. But it was the black and white Highland yarn in cider, held with a strand of Anne on mohair. And then for the cuffs and the collar, I ended up using some leftover mini skeins and doing a bit of a fade. And I really like how it came out. It's just a circular yoke sweater. I did quite a bit of ease in it. It's pretty boxy. When I first finished it and tried it on, it was very stiff, but with blocking, it is such a dream. And I did not alternate my skeins at all. And I'm really happy with the black and white. And same with the sleeves. I didn't alternate at all on my sleeves, and they came out pretty even. So I've actually been wearing this a lot, and I was waiting to post it on Instagram because I wanted to show you guys first. So I'm wearing my new sweater, which I love. And my other FO, I know I have two, is my Spice Blend cowl. So I'm creating kits for this. So this is the Warm palette. And let me tell you that this knit is so fun. I think my biggest struggle was picking the order of colors. So in the end, I'm pretty happy with it. I ended up kind of going off the chart recommendations towards the top, because what you're supposed to do is you start with your color A and then you switch to BA. So whatever your last color is that you used becomes your contrast color in the next chart. So towards the top here, I really wanted the trees. The last few charts were my favorite ones, like the coffee cups, the houses. This is a quilt star, and then trees. I really wanted those ones to be towards the top. I also knew that I wanted the orange, sorry Marley. I knew I wanted the orange to be the furthest from my face, and I wanted juniper, the really warm kind of like olivey green, to be towards my head. And then I've never knit a cowl before, so I do feel like my biggest struggle is how to wear it and style it, because I feel like it's very tall. I did contemplate, I'm wearing this because I'm having weird hair days with my bangs. My biggest struggle is, figuring out how to wear this because I feel like it flops quite a bit on me. I mean, I'm sure it's how it's supposed to be. So I do wish that I had maybe gone a couple, like 1 or 2 repeats less, so that it was a little bit tighter on me. I have contemplated felting it, but my fear is some of these charts, like the snowflake here, have pretty low contrast, so I'm not sure how they would felt if I would lose that. And same with the quilt star up here. I don't know if you would lose the detailing if I felted it. So we'll see, but I love the other side too. I did share this. I haven't shared the other side, but I shared my floats, which I'm really proud of. Sorry, yarn fluffs in my nose now. So that's my other FO, and I love it. And then I think I have technically it's finished, but I feel like it's maybe a half FO. But I finally finished this sock. So I still have the other one to start, but I'm gonna get the rough draft of the pattern typed up because I have all my notes, and then hopefully I'll begin testing. Let's see. So it has this zigzag pattern, which is what's carried up here in the cuff, and the ribbing continues down. I like this a lot. And then I've got these. They're kind of like baubles. I think it's technically like a popcorn stitch. I find baubles to be a little bit too aggressive, so these are really cute. And then I just did my favorite heel, which I think is really pretty and classic. So I'm hoping that I can have a testing call for this soon. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it's a really fun sock. There's just enough color work, and it kind of keeps you going. Plus it is, so this is my Highland base, and then this is my Simply Stella Superwash fingering. So you've got the stability in your toe, in your heel, and your cuff. Alternatively, you could do mohair, which I'm going to show you what I'm doing with another sock. I did receive 2 samples back. I was having some socks done up. I usually will do like club colors. I'll send them out to have samples done. That's what I did last year, but I'm going to try and do that this year myself because I want to knit socks. So I received this pair back, and this was with my Little Women Knittery Society anniversary color, and they came out so pretty. Really, really like it. And there's quite a bit of yarn left over. So you can see there's like quite a bit. So that's one pair that I've received, and then I received these ones last month. But these are the A-frame socks from Morgan of Shop Knitting Nelly. I had a sample done up in the Anne Goes to Queens sock set. And it's the my Superwash base. Super pretty. So you can see the difference in the bobbles. Like the bobbles are just more prominent. So those are the 2 samples that I got back. And now I'm gonna go into my whips, and then I'm gonna show you one yarn acquisition, and then I'm gonna have to pause because I forgot the other thing that I wanted to show you, which is sewing related. I've been sewing, as you will have seen in my Instagram stories. So my first FO, if you remember, one of my goals this year is to knit a pair of socks every month using a club colorway. I got a really late start to this month's socks, and this is using last month's Cozy Club colorway, but I'm doing another Bunchberry knit. Now that I have all of my sample knitters notes back, I wanted to cast on another pair and do the alternate heel. So the pattern will come with 2 different heels. This is the first pair that I knit. So this is just kind of like a short row heel. It's a double stitch heel. And this is the alternate heel, because why not? And I really like how this is coming out. So what I'm doing for these ones is it's the same color held throughout, and this is the Icelandic Cabin colorway from December's Club. But I had leftover mohair from my sweater, and I'm trying to use up, my goal this year is to work mostly from my stash. So I added the mohair to the cuff, and then I added it to the heel for extra stability. It's so cozy and fluffy. And I love this, the stitch definition still came through. And then I'll use it for the toe. So now I'm just working on the foot. I worked all of my the decreases last night to get back to my 64 stitches. And now I just gotta work the foot, and then hopefully I can get a second one done before the end of next week, so that I can take photos, because the pattern is going to come out on February 2nd. And yeah, so that's one whip. I'm going to try and finish the first sock this weekend. And then my other whip, which I kind of deviated away from my knit goal thingy. I know I did a poll where I was asking you guys what I should cast on next, and you all seemed to really want me to cast on the Daydreamer, the cabled sweater. And I still really want to knit it, but virtual learning and trying to knit cables or color work, to be honest, it's just too much right now. Like there's a section in my cowl that I think I ripped it back like 5 times because it just, my brain was not working. So I needed something simple and mindless. I've wanted to knit the Weekender sweater ever since it came out. And I've actually casted it on 3 times. They have all been fails. Even with I don't gauge swatch, that is the only time for a sweater I have gauge swatched, and it still failed. So I decided at Christmas, on Boxing Day, I treated myself. One of my local yarn shops, I say local, but I mean they're an hour away from me, the Knitting Loft, they did a Brooklyn Tweed pop-up. So they had a Boxing Day sale. I think it was 20% off. And they had leftover stock from their pop-up. So I got these on sale, which was really great. I got 8 of them, and it's the color Wood Smoke. Kind of like an oatmeal color. And I ended up casting on the Lodge sweater by Ozetta Haley. And it is kind of very similar in style. It's worked from the bottom up, but it's got this really nice ribbing detail on the side, and it's also a side split. The nice thing is you knit, it is almost identical construction. You knit up to where you're going to separate your front and your back. Then you work your front, you work your back, join the shoulders. Then you cast on your, I think it's a mock neck. And then you pick up the sleeve stitches and knit down. So it kind of fits the bill with my goal this year is to like try new things. I've always knit top down sweaters. I've knit one bottom up sweater. Yeah, just one. So I went for it. I'm feeling pretty good about it. One of my friends test knit the sweaters, so I went with the size that she knit, which was a small. And I think it's got, this yarn has got a lot of bounce. So I think it's gonna block really nice and be a nice staple. So that's where I'm at. I did just start the second ball. And so that is my other whip. I'm trying to keep my whips to 1 sweater and 1 sock, and just that. But I really lately have had the urge to pick my Radari back up and keep working on that. I basically have the first sleeve is done, the second sleeve is half done, so I could technically keep working on that. Okay, let me just, I'm drinking rooibos tea today. It's one of my favorites. There's a hair on the top there, that's weird, gross. So I'm drinking a rooibos tea. My friend got this for me for Christmas. But I've actually got an order in with Katie, and she is working on some more woolen blend, because you guys, everyone really liked that one. I really like that one. And she's also doing a special custom Valentine's Day tea, which is gonna be so good. It's rooibos, which is my fave. If I'm not drinking a caffeinated tea, my favorite herbal tea is rooibos. It is just so good. It's so smooth. It's naturally got a sweeter flavor to it. It's not bitter. And so I asked if she could do a rooibos tea with strawberries and chocolate. And I'm very excited for it. But I thought I would show you. So I switched up. I went through my yarn and I did a big tea stash. I think I needed to just refresh the shelves so that I would have a little bit more clarity about what I want to knit this year and just be more intentional. So what I've done is in one of my baskets, because I've got most everything is organized in these like baskets here, and then I've got two cupboards down below. This cupboard is cakes and that cupboard is superwash, which I don't really have much left of. I de-stashed a lot of it. So these are two of the sweaters that I want to knit in this basket. This side is my Birkin sweater, and then the yarn for my Daydreamer came, and I haven't shown it on here yet, so I thought I would show it. And it's so pretty. It's just even better in real life. So this is Quince & Co. Their Chickadee Organic Heather. It's 100% organic wool. It's a sport weight, made in Italy, and this is Jasper. I love the color a lot. So that is the only yarn acquisition I wanted to show, but I thought I would show off the pretty basket of my yarn babies. And yeah, I'm hosting a Knittery Society challenge. I needed to switch up the way that the Knittery Society functioned, only because I was starting to feel like, it's so weird to say, but like the responsibility of picking a book and then telling people what we're gonna read. I mean, obviously they could join if they wanted to or not read or whatever. But with the Instagram algorithm changing so frequently, I feel like it was starting to get a bit stale. And then this takes the responsibility off of my shoulders on like having to pick books and the extra added level of like making sure that there's a fair balance between male authors and female authors and white authors and authors of color. The list of books that I want to read is like at this point infinite, and also having to like pick which book to read versus another book per like for one per month. It was becoming a little daunting. So the reading challenge is basically you pick however many books you want to read. It could be a big number, a small number, like it's your choice. My goal is 24 books, so roughly 2 a month. I mean, there'll obviously be some months where I don't do 2 books in a month. But I finally finished one book. I finished Anne of Green Gables. I listened to the audiobook with Rachel McAdams. It was so good. And I'm glad that I finally read it. I had like a pop-up Anne of Green Gables book growing up. I wish I still had it. It was so beautiful. But I never actually read Anne of Green Gables, the story. So I'm really glad that I watched or listened to it. it had some likeness to Anne with an E, but then there was obviously a lot of differences. So I just finished that, and I'm currently reading Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which was gifted to me by Lynn, and I love it so much that I went and bought the other 2 books. I honestly have never really given fantasy a chance, and I like it. I like, and it makes sense because I like all those kinds of shows, so why wouldn't I like reading that? So I'm reading that, and then Nick convinced me to get TikTok. I tried posting on it and I was like, no. So now I just kind of use it. There's like different categories within TikTok that you can kind of like land on. That people are like, ooh, I've made it to like book talk. My battery's gonna die. Okay, I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. My battery's a little bit charged, so I'm going to try and get through this a little bit quicker. So I was talking about TikTok, and one of the things that I love about it is obviously like the fun, silly videos, but I stumbled across Book Talk, and so it's just basically people talking about books that they've read and showing their book collections, and there's one person in particular that I came across. I can't remember her name or anything, but she gives reviews of books that she's read, and I don't understand how she reads as much as she does, but she does. So anyways, one of the books that she recommended, she said was her all-time favorite, obviously A Daughter of Smoke and Bone. She said the whole series is amazing, but then she said if you are liking this, to read this book, 10,000 Doors of January. I started this. I got a Kobo. The last time I had a Kobo was our honeymoon, but that's the only time we used it. But so this was a gift to myself for my birthday. I love this. I try and read on the couch sometimes when the kids are playing, and trying to read a physical book with pages when there's kids, I feel like I can't concentrate, and then they also see it and they think it's a game, try and get the book out of mommy's hands. This is really like really discreet, and so I can sit there and read. It's also really like there's so much satisfaction in just tapping to the next page. I feel like I'm tapping like every 30 seconds, which makes me feel like I'm reading really fast. So those are the 2 books that I'm currently reading. I love them both. So I read this one kind of like during the day, and then right before bed, I try and read like a chapter of this. So I really love those. And the challenge is off to a great start. It's crazy. There's like one person who posted that they wanted to read 400 books, and that they read like 465 last year, so they wanted to dial it back a little bit. That's more than a book a day. Just think about that. I grabbed my sewing. So I'm going to be doing a video, hopefully this upcoming week, where I take you through my sewing process. So this won't be on it, but I wanted to show you this. I made myself a little tote bag with the leftover fabric from my quilted coat, which is what my sewing video is going to be about. So this is like super basic. I probably could have put a pocket, and I might still put a pocket, but it's just like a super basic tote bag. This is the lined fabric on the inside. It's actually really pretty. Sparkles, it's like little stars. And the outside is the leftover quilted fabric from my coat, because I love this fabric so much I didn't want it to go to waste. And then I had these straps from like last year. So I made myself this little tote bag, which I think is super cute. And then my coat, which is not done, it like looks done, but unfortunately I have to redo the band for a third time. It's like the part of the pattern that I hate the most. It's just so finicky because you have to basically join together all of your layers, hide all of your seams. So anyways, it looks done. So I'll try it on. Not really wearing the right sweater, but you'll get an idea. So the collar, once it's done properly, will sit flat across the front like this. There's the top part. And then this is the part that is quilted. And my pockets. So the pocket fabric is from the same piece. It's actually, so the entire collection is the Warp and Weft collection from Ruby Star Society. And I had yardage of these, which I knew was going to be the Wixton Haori, which is what this pattern is. But then I had gotten other yardage of, it's reversible, which is really cool. I had gotten yardage in this purple with the stripe and this fabric as well to do some tops for summer, but I decided to use it all for the Wixton. So this side looks like this, and then it's a double-sided collar. So the collar kind of blends in with the front, and then the sleeves are the pinstripe with the cuff like so. And then on the other side, it is quilted. There's so many trucks today. So this is the quilted part, and I'll show this like all in detail on the video. But I'm so happy with how it came out. I didn't use batting because I wanted to be able to wear this in the spring and like early summer when the nights are still a little bit cool. So what I actually ended up doing, because this is a woven collection of fabrics, I did want to kind of like reinforce it to something. So I used an old flannel sheet. I mean, you can kind of see it in some spots, like on the white here. I don't know if you can see, like there's a little stripe there. It doesn't bug me. But I used a really thin piece of flannel sheet to attach the quilted pieces to. So, because this, I mean, this is a pretty thick linen. But that is my coat so far, and I will have a video once I have to literally seam rip this entire collar off again and do it again. And I'm actually so tempted to just do a half collar and just do the yellow, but we'll see. So that is basically everything that's new. I'm hoping to shoot the video for dyeing up the clubs this weekend if I can convince Nick. I also took apart my studio. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, 1 sec. Okay, so sorry, that was Nick calling. He took the kids to the park. I think I was talking about the video for dyeing up the clubs. So that will probably go live in February because it is a whole process. And I mean, I don't know if any of you bought the club, so I'm not sure if you would want the spoiler before you've received the club. but it is coming. Last night I kind of ripped apart the studio a little bit and started rearranging furniture. I did have to order more shelves. I've just been feeling like I'm not outgrowing this space, but I feel like I just need to, like any other aspect, you like learn as you go, but I need to take more advantage of the space that I am working with and figure out better storage solutions. So I'm on my way to doing that. I got another shelving unit, and I got some more shelves to add to the existing ones, and it'll be a start. Unfortunately, IKEA is like sold out of a lot of things, so it's a little bit frustrating. I feel like during this entire pandemic, IKEA has just been like a hot mess, which is like unfortunate because they're such a big company that I feel like they should have their shit together. But anyways, once the studio's put back together, I'm gonna try and do an actual studio tour and just take you through, I guess like a work flow for me. And now that Nick has started helping out, he'll probably be in the video a little bit because there's no escaping another body in the room. So anyways, I am gonna sign off. It sounds weird, but I'm gonna take advantage of the kid-free time while I have it. I'm going to take some photos for the website, and then probably keep working at organizing the studio space. Or maybe I'll just sit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I hope that you guys are all doing well. And I'm hoping to have more content for you soon. And I think there's one thing I forgot. So I'm trying to get better at hosting this craft along. So I did a little bit of research, and I have decided to go with resin for the next one because it's actually pretty easy to acquire all of the stuff to do it. And I feel like it's something that you can either put whatever you want in, really. But anyways, I did a test run and I shared it in my stories. But I did not realize the molds that I got off of Amazon did not say that they were technically ashtrays. It was like a set of, I think, 8 molds. 2 of them are, jeez, it's fine. There's 2 trays like this. One's obviously circular and the other's a square. And then there's 2 smallish jars. And then things for like, I would use it for stitch markers, but I think they're for like pendants and stuff. But anyways, I did a test run just to see if this would be like a practical thing. And I think it's actually really cool. I don't know if I'd use an orange slice the next time. I had dried orange slices left over from Christmas. But this is it. And even though it is an ashtray, as I shared in my stories the other night, I do think it's a really cute option for DPNs. So like you would, I guess, put a cigarette here. I'm not a smoker, but it holds DPNs really well. And this is, I use a DPN to hold my half my stitches when I'm doing a heel on a sock. So yeah, that's why I went with this one, because I thought it would be a cute notions tray. And then I realized, oh, I could also use it for needles, or if you had like a darning needle or sewing. It works really cute like that. You could probably also put a magnet in the bottom, and then when you put your little pins and stuff when you're sewing, they'll catch and they won't like, you know, you could lift it up and do one of these. So that's going to be the next one. I'm going to create a video for this, and I'm going to put out the list of what you need. It's pretty simple, but if you're a big Stella patron, this will be the next craft along, and super cool. I mean, you could do any mold you wanted. So yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to show you. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a great day. I'm hoping to get this video, maybe I'll go edit it right now, get that done and up, and I'll be back soon with more updates. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you the best weekend.